If you have a meeting scheduled for 2 p.m., for example, would you say, I have a meeting at 2 p.m. or I have a meeting by 2 p.m.? Well, stay tuned. In this video, you are going to learn the exact prepositions to use to indicate different timings. First, let's consider these sentences. We have, I woke up this morning by 6 a.m. Is this expression correct? Two, we have, the package arrived at the afternoon. So, can you use at for this kind of timing? Three, we have, I'll call you in Tuesday. Can we use in with days of the week? Come and celebrate with us at Eid Day. So, can we use at with celebration days? Ask me again at 3 weeks' time. So, can we also use at with days like this? Well, all of these usage of prepositions are incorrect. So, how do you use the prepositions of time correctly in English so that you can communicate confidently and correctly, just like a native speaker? So, stay tuned. Let me teach you exactly which preposition to use for the exact different timings. So, first rule, use at for specific time. That is, if you are going to mention a particular time, for example, I have a meeting at 2 p.m., which means that the meeting has been scheduled for a particular time. So do not say, I have a meeting by 2 p.m. That's incorrect. Because the meeting has been scheduled, use at. Or I woke up at 6 a.m. today. So if you are sure that you checked the time and you saw that it was 6 a.m. exactly, use at because it is what? Specific. Use by for a stretch of time. So what I mean by a stretch of time here is if you mean to say on or before a particular time, use by. For example, I'll get back home by 8 p.m. So what that means is that anytime from now till 8 p.m., I'll get back home. Such person could get back at maybe 6 p.m., 7 p.m. They are still correct because they use by. And when you use by with time, it simply means on or before. It does not mean the exact. So when you know that you are going to get back at exactly 8, use at. Another example we have, I'll finish the task by noon. So what this means is what? Between now and noon. It does not mean exactly what? Noon. But if I had said at noon, that means I'm sure that it is going to be at noon. So use at for specific time, but use by for a stretch of time that is on or before. So, how would you answer these questions? I want to test if you've understood the difference between by and at. So, what time do you resume at work? So, if you are going to tell me the time you resume at work, what are you going to say? You should say, I resume work at 8 a.m. because that's the exact time. But if you mean to say that, oh, I could actually get to work at 7, I could get to work at 7:30, then you could say, I resume work by 8. So if you say by 8, you meant to say that anytime from maybe 6 till 8. So what time does your train leaves? You know, train leaves at particular time that are usually what? Specific. So this one is rather specific. There is no stretch of time in between it. Once you miss your train, you've missed it. So you need to use what? The preposition for specific time. So you are going to say, my train leaves at 4:15 p.m. So do not say that my train leaves by, because for train, it is what? Specific. So secondly, use in for parts of the day, longer periods, and numbers of time. So if you are going to refer to parts of the day, longer period of time, or a number of time, use in. For example, we usually read in the evening. So do not say we usually read on the evening, no, or at the evening, no. The preposition to use for a part of the day, whether it is morning, afternoon, or night, is what? In. For example, I work best in the afternoon. I work best in the afternoon because it is what? Part of the. Another example we have, I had to help him in the night. So we are using in because we are referring to the what? A part of the day. Do you understand? Because I really want you to master the usage of prepositions of time for different timings so that you can speak what? Fluently and confidently. Another example we have, mom sometimes work at night. So if it is a repeated situation, you can use what? At. It is not like you are being specific about one. If it is a repeated one, you can use what? At. So use in for longer periods, months, and years. For example, I was born in June. So do not say I was born at June or I was born on June. No. Use in for what? Months and years. For example, I got my degree in 2020. So do not say that I got my degree at 2020. No. I haven't seen him in years. So that is what? Longer periods. I haven't seen him in years. So for examples like this, use what? In. Do not say that I haven't seen him at years. No. Say I haven't seen him in years. Another example we have, the report will be ready in 2 weeks. The report will be ready in 2 weeks. So that is what? A period of time. So when you're referring to a period of time, use in. Also, use in for numbers of time. For example, I'll be back in 10 minutes. Or I'll be done with this lesson in 15 minutes. The meeting will be over in 2 hours. So do not say at 2 hours or by 2 hours. No. The correct prepositions to use for this kind of context is in. Another example, I can cook the meal in 2 hours. I can cook the meal in 2 hours. So let's move on to the next one, which is the usage of on with specific days of the week, month, or specific festive day. That is common celebration day. So for example, I don't go to work on Tuesdays. So do not say that I don't go to work at Tuesdays. No. It is what? On, when you are mentioning a particular day of the week. Another example, I'll be traveling on the 10th of this month. On the 10th of this month. I'll meet with her on Friday evening, because you are mentioning a day before you mention that evening. If it's only evening, then you can say in. Do you understand? We often go to the cinema on Eid days. So what? On, when you are mentioning a particular festive day, use what? Use on. Or when you are mentioning a particular day of the week, use what? Use on. Another example we have, Dad often buy us gifts on New Year days. Dad often buy us gifts on New Year days. So when you are using prepositions with days, use on. So we could also have expressions without prepositions. So it's not all the time that we have to use prepositions. So at, on, in, up, and by are not usually used in expressions with time prepositions such as next, last, this, that, one, each, every, some, all. That is, if we already have these determiners before the day or before the time we are mentioning, then we do not need to also use a preposition anymore. For example, I'll see you next week. So you do not need to say, I'll see you on next week. No. Next is already there. Do you understand? So you do not need a preposition anymore. Another example we have, are you free this Wednesday? So you don't need to say, are you free on this Wednesday? No. You don't really need the preposition anymore. Just use, are you free this Wednesday? Do you understand? So this is already acting as the determiner. Another example, I was not available that week. Do you understand? So you don't need a preposition before it anymore. So just simply say, I was not available that week. If you already have a determiner, you do not really need the preposition anymore. Do you understand? So we also have, you can come anytime. You can come anytime. So since we are saying anytime, you do not say you can come on anytime. No. Just simply say you can come anytime. Do you understand? So prepositions are tiny words that help us to do what? To mention time specifically. Do you understand? To be precise with the time that we are referring to. However, in expressions like this, they are not really needed. So you can just have your expressions without the preposition. So now let's get to the part of this video that is always juicy for me, the practical quiz, to test if you've really mastered the use of prepositions. So if you watch this video till this moment, I want to believe that you're enjoying the video. So kindly subscribe to my channel to get me to have more visibility, and please like and share with your friends and family. So the first one we have, I have an important meeting dash Monday morning. So that's a particular day of the week. So which preposition do you use to indicate a particular day of the week? A, at, B, in, C, on, D, by. So which preposition are you going to use? Are you going to say, I have a meeting at Monday morning or on Monday morning? Which one? The next question we have, the project must be finished dash 5 p.m. today. So that means between now and 5 p.m., it must be finished. That's a stretch of time. So which preposition do you use for this kind of context? A, on, B, in, C, at, D, by. So which preposition fit? Another example we have, my grandmother likes to go for a walk dash the afternoon. So when you're mentioning a particular part of the day, which preposition do you use? Whether it is morning, afternoon, or night. Is it on, at, in, or by? Let me know in the comment what your answers to these questions are going to be. I really want to know if you've learned and mastered your usage of what prepositions with time. Another example we have, my colleagues and I always exchange gifts dash workers day. So when you're mentioning a particular day like that, which preposition is most suitable for this kind of context? Are you going to use in, at, on, or by? Let me know your answers in the comment. If you are yet to subscribe, please click on that subscribe button now so that I can have more visibility. Thank you. So let's move on to the next question, which is, I have an important meeting dash Monday. The answer is what? On Monday. So the rule already said use on with particular days of the week, whether it is Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday. Simply say on Monday, on Tuesday, on Wednesday, on Thursday, on Friday, whatever day of the week that you're referring to, use what? Use on. The next one is by 5 p.m. because it is what? On or before. When you mean on or before, use what? Use by. So I hope the options you chose earlier are the same as mine. So the answer is what? By. The project must be finished by 5 p.m. today. That is between now and 5 p.m. today. A stretch of time. So the third one, the answer is what? In. So when you're mentioning a part of the day, whether it is morning, afternoon, or night, use in. My grandmother likes to go for a walk in the afternoon, in the evening, in the morning. So do not say on or at or by. No. Part of the day, use in. My colleagues and I always exchange gifts on Workers' Day. So if you say a particular celebration day, you also use what? On for them because you are mentioning a particular day, just like on Monday, on Tuesday. Do you understand? This is English with RMG. Kindly like, subscribe, and share for more. Thank you.